Hi, Ethan.
Hello. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for joining us in our People of Mulgrave. We thought of you because recently we've been writing a lot of stories about environmental initiatives that have been taking place in the schools, such as changing the paper cups to reusable cups, putting hot air hand dryers in the bathrooms instead of napkins, and 100% biodegradable containers in the cafeteria. And these are all environmental initiatives that have come about because inspired by students and staff. And we know you're really passionate about the environment. So we just wanted to check in with you, talk to you about this passion of yours, your personal project, which I think was inspired by that as well. In part. So can you tell us a little bit about your personal project and what you're working on?
Sure. So for my personal project this year, I created a social enterprise called Drift. And that name kind of is a metaphor reflecting the current state of the environment. When you think of like huge old growth forests, now they've been reduced to like singular logs drifting through the forest, not knowing where their future lies. So I kind of thought that was a bit cool to like to kind of reflect the current state of like the environment, the forest, nature. So for my actual project itself, I took driftwood, so another connection to the name, and like discarded wood items, anything I could really find on the beach and above the tide line because it has to be legal. And then I took that into my workshop and transformed it into stuff that I thought was beautiful to market online. So I have a website, drift.site, and I'm selling that in partnership with the Stanley Park Ecology Society, so all funds and donations are going towards the Stanley Park Ecology Society for their program. So their program deals with education about environmental stewardship, how they can maintain the park, what the park has to offer. So like I think it's kind of like coming back to the whole environmental tie. It's like the full circle. It comes from nature, and then it's going back into doing good in nature.
Yeah, you know what, and when we talk about your project, it struck me that it's about making something that people might have thought of as garbage or into something beautiful and purposeful, like something that we can use. And you mentioned that something that you would walk through a store and see that many of the things that we could buy looked a lot like these logs anyway, right? So
yeah, I was it actually comes. My mother recently was refurbishing our house, and she was purchasing a lot of similar products, and that's where I got my initial inspiration from. Because I don't know. Previously, during my summers, I've spent it like in nature, or in the wood shop doing crafts and just whatever I feel interested in. So I've built up a little bit of a base of skills in carpentry, and then my mom comes in with these like simple looking but like very beautiful. She likes the term wabi sabi, which is the Japanese term for imperfection, like beauty and imperfection. So I figured, well, like this is so simple, and then like you paid that much for it. So I thought that that could be a really good product to sell, especially to like the market in West Vancouver. So
yeah. Well, I'll make sure to link to our video, your website. They are truly beautiful. So what can you tell me a little bit, as you went through the entire personal project process, what are some things that you've learned? I know creating a social enterprise was important to you.
Yeah.
So perhaps are there any business lessons that you can share?
Well, I'm going to do a lunchtime lecture in the future about how to like channel your entrepreneurial spirit, but as a student, because I know it's kind of hard. So I decided to do all my carpentry work in the summertime because it was like 12-hour days. It was quite a lot, like arduous process. So on carpentry, I can all I can say is really like make sure the quality of your wood is good, and even if there are imperfections, again, like try to find a way to use them. Like the philosophy that I used was like, if I have something that I've collected, like I'm not going to just throw it back away. I have to repurpose it somehow. And then from a business standpoint, I really think that, especially as a student, making sure your platform looks professional is essential, because if I didn't really market my thing as my personal project, because that kind of makes it seem like maybe not juvenile is not the right word, but kind of like it's my school project. Can you help me out? And kind of try to market more as a business, creating a sleek website, marketing your products correctly, doing a photo shoot. Lighting is all like really necessary. So you don't want to just take photos. You have to make sure they're in a uniform background, stuff like that. And that's important for anybody trying to start a business, but especially from a student. Like time management is the biggest thing, because you're trying to balance your co-curriculars, your school life, your homework, and keeping on track with the business. So me today, I've been busy this past couple of weeks, but like I took the time previously to establish a business, the website and all that stuff. So what I'm doing now to make sure the business is still running, as well as doing my schoolwork, is like, let's say I allot half an hour to check what's going on, do inventory and whatnot, and then if something happens, I can devote more time to it. But it's not my main priority at the moment. Later in spring break or in the summer where I have more time, then I can focus on improving the business model and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's just a balance. You
That
have to know
sounds great.
what you're
So
doing.
it's almost setting it up so that it runs on its own.
Yeah.
And then taking time, it sounds like it in the beginning to actually get it to the point where it can run on its own.
Yeah.
So then when you do have the time, you can go back and then
edit it.
do other iterations or
Yeah.
improvements, etc. I'm very excited for you. I'll
Okay.
be sure to put information on your lunchtime lecture there, and I wish you all the luck and appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's
Thank
been really
you.
fun.
Take care.